Welcome back to the Michigan Business Beat, brought to you on the Michigan Business Network. Chris Holman here, coming to you from remote, but Jeff Mosier, who is orchestrating today's broadcast, is coming to you from our studios at the Capital Region International Airport. Right now, we're going to run down to Detroit because we never know where we're going to run to, trying to keep up with this guy, Quentin Messer Jr. He's the Chief Executive Officer and President and Chair of the Michigan Strategic Fund, MEDC, Grand Poobah, right? How you doing?
I don't know about Grand Poobah, but I'm doing well. It's good to see you. Great win for your Spartans last night.
Oh my God, unbelievable. I felt great for both sides because it was a great game. It really was. Okay, so let's talk a little bit. You are in Detroit, and that's very appropriate for one of the things we want to talk about, and that's the $500,000 in RAP funding to develop 9301 Oakland Avenue. First of all, explain to everybody what RAP funding is.
Sure. RAP is Revitalization and Placemaking Grants. It's one of the three pillars of the Make It in Michigan economic development strategy. First pillar is people. You have to attract and develop people. The second pillar is cultivating and revitalizing places. And RAP is something that has been in the past couple of years, work of the Governor Whitmer, the legislature, to really make sure that we provide dollars in ways that are appropriate across our 10 prosperity regions. And then the final pillar is competing for a winning project. So a big part of our work is making sure that we bring back neighborhoods, Detroit's North End, where this particular project is a historic neighborhood that's seeing increasing revitalization, because we realize that you can create entrepreneurial and large scale job opportunities, but people make professional decisions based upon, especially younger folks, the quality of place, whether
Yeah.
there are amenities, what's your housing stock like? Is there energy? It's very different than when I was young.
So listen, being a kind of a Detroit boy in my youth, which I kind of remember, um, there's been a tremendous transformation in that city. Maybe exclusive a little bit of the North End, which is where this is going. Can you talk a little bit about why this project was selected for funding?
Well, the RAP project application process, a very rigorous, significantly more demand than we have funds to supply. So a couple of things. One, we work very closely with our partners at the City of Detroit and the Detroit Economic Growth Corporation as they identify their priorities. They have been very focused on neighborhood development. So we really work with them to make sure that we're aligned with the priorities that they're going to support. In fact, the City of Detroit and Detroit Economic Growth Corporation were both part of the financial support, as was MEDC. So that's vitally important. And second, to your point, Chris, is people want to have a total neighborhood experience. It's very important for all of us that all the communities and neighborhoods in Detroit thrive.
Well, and without getting political, Mayor Duggan has done an incredible job of kind of turning that city around. But on a macro view, where do you see Detroit and what role they're playing in Michigan's kind of broader economic landscape?
Well, Detroit is Michigan's largest city, and most states, the largest city really is the state brand. And so, as a consequence, people's evaluations, perceptions of Michigan are really colored in large part by their perceptions of Detroit. Detroit has the four North American sports teams, so that you're going to see them on national broadcasts. And so I think a lot of how people perceive Michigan is really their perception of Detroit. That's
Yeah.
not to say that they're not. Lansing's important, Grand Rapids, we know, Kalamazoo, Saginaw, etc., Marquette, but still the global image of Michigan is really Detroit, Motor City. So it's vitally important that we continue to show the incredible evolution and the undeniable positive momentum for Detroit.
Well, I have to tell you, and you know that I've done a lot of business in Asia over the years, and even when Detroit was just in bankruptcy, they still identified Michigan as Detroit. And so that you're absolutely right. That burns deep. So make it in Michigan. That's kind of one of your broader missions. Tell me how this RAP initiative aligns with that.
As I mentioned, Making Michigan has three central pillars: people, places, and projects. And RAP, Revitalization and Placemaking Grants, are fundamental to that places project. You can't have a growing, vibrant economy if you don't have growing, vibrant places that are attractive for people of all age groups, all demographics. And that's why this project and others across the state are so vitally important.
Yeah. Listen, we've got about 30 seconds. So tell me about your priorities for 25.
Very quickly, continue to execute on the Making Michigan economic development strategy, focus on people, places, and projects. Two, continue to get better individually and collectively on behalf of Michiganders. And three, making sure that we can work with both our elected officials in Lansing and in Washington.
Keep up the good work, my friend. We appreciate where you're going and what you're doing for the state of Michigan.
You're too kind. Thank you.
Quentin Messer Jr., Chief Executive Officer of MEDC and President and Chair of the Michigan Strategic Fund. Thanks for being with us. And all you do, you are all watching the Michigan Business Beat on the Michigan Business Network. I'm Chris Holman.